Hey, Solomon here with another digital marketing FAQ. So I got this question the other day. I wanted to make you a quick video. It says, how do I integrate my SEO, my social media, which I'm assuming it's organic social, and my PR? It's a great question because you start doing SEO, that's a thing on its own. So you have to invest a lot of time creating content, doing technical SEO, and perhaps you're looking to do, building some authority and you're engaged in some PR activities. So that offsets the authority part. So you can work on getting more links coming into your website from high authority websites. So that makes sense. And everybody tells you post all the content on social media. So you're building up the audience base. So people are organically following you and liking the content that you're creating for SEO. There's a lot at play here, right? So there's a lot going on. This is like a very comprehensive campaign, and there's still no paid here in this question. And it's a good way to visualize this is all the work that you're doing in SEO. So that's one circle. Then your social could be another. And if you're doing PR, that's another circle. Just going to draw it there. Imagine they're equal for a minute. All right. So you're doing a lot of PR work, and then you're also doing social, content creation, promotion, and so on. And there's a couple of different models I was thinking about. How do I explain this? How do I answer this question? How much time should you work on your SEO? How much time should you work on your social? How much time should you work on PR? What's important? What's a good mix look like? Again, there's no paid efforts in my video here. I'm assuming they're trying to do it all organically, which, by the way, it's the best thing you can do because you're investing into your brand, you're investing into content, you're investing into your website, and everything that you have. You're not, spending money on Facebook ads or Google ads in this scenario. So I'm going to show you a couple of different models. Obviously, many companies, they don't do all the three things that I'm being asked here. They only do probably SEO for some cases. Others might do some PR because they have somebody in the team, or they may have outsourced the PR part, so they're really good at that part. Or you may have some folks in the company that's comfortable posting things on social, so they work on this. Or in other cases, some people feel comfortable working on these two, or maybe they're doing this and completely forget their SEO. This is all stuff that I see on a regular basis, common mistakes, and I really believe that marketing should be integrated. If you ever wonder what OneIMS stands for, it means Integrated Marketing Solutions, and it should never be just one thing. It should never just be SEO, for instance. It should never just be PR. It should never just be paid. It needs to be very integrated. So I'm going to show you a quick model of what I believe a couple of different companies and a lot of times what companies see when I look at their marketing. So as I said, a lot of companies might have some PR initiatives. So they're spending a lot of their time and getting, just good quality content being posted on different sites, industry journals, and so on. Maybe they're connected to big companies because they're doing trade shows, and trade shows come with articles that you can place. If you're a thought leader in your industry, it's very easy to get links and articles and things published on a regular basis. It takes a lot of effort, but they're really great for your SEO. So that works out. So let's say they spend a lot of time and energy doing that, and maybe they have a team in-house. They're doing a lot of SEO. They're working on content, or you're working with a partner. You may have an agency, a consultant, whatever it might be. That SEO is really important because you get a lot of quality leads from that source, so you want to invest some money. So sometimes I see companies that really do well in two things, and they're kind of weak over here because, they don't have any resources. They don't know how to measure it, so they believe that that's not really important. My clients don't come from social media, so forget about that. And a couple of people may post some things on LinkedIn, but there's really no strategy. In some cases, like I said, there may be one or more skewed one way or the other on the SEO and maybe doing some PR stuff, but they're so important, and that's the piece that I really want to talk about. If I wanted to make oversimplified, I think my next model oversimplifies it, right? This is amazing if we can do this. You have equal amount of time spent on developing content, building up your on-site of your site, right? Content, and let's just call that like on-site. And from an off-site perspective, quality of links and the different referring domain names and so on that you want to work on. you have equal amounts of time spent on that. Let's just call that offsite for a minute, because this develops your quality of your backlinks. This develops authority. Google likes that stuff because you're getting quality links. You're not, getting from random blogs on the internet. You're getting from high authority websites that could be industry journals. Maybe it's like a trade show website with a lot of content. They may have magazines that are printed. Amazing. And this part, which is very difficult if you are a B2B company, because you need to create content, you have to do a lot of engagement for your audience. You need to ask everybody who's seen this to share it, and vice versa. This becomes a company-wide effort. It's not just one person who could really drive that. And it's extremely hard to scale, because I know how hard it is, because we work on it, and not just for our clients, but for ourselves. And this is not easy for a B2B company to scale the social side of things, because it's just doesn't work, right? It's very hard. You need a lot of content, and who's going to create content? Well, you need educational content. What kind of content? How frequently should we post? What platform should I use? The questions are on and on and on, and how do you scale it, and how do you measure it? Does it work? Where do I get my leads from? What tools do I use to track it? Do I create video content? Do I create text, images, right? And there's just so much to do in this side. This is never the case, I promise you, especially if they are a B2B company. B2C, it's very easy, and they will not have much of this. So if I go to the next one, I think it's a pretty good way to explain how a lot of companies may have it. They've spent a lot of time on SEO because it is a source of leads, so they know that this is really important. So again, there's no paid aspect here in this chart. So they spend a lot of time and energy developing content, building it out. Again, most of the time it may be done externally, so you have focused attention being spent on it, so things actually happen. And then they may work with somebody to get a lot of content out there. Maybe you're doing press releases and things like that, just traditional stuff, but also digital PR. That's what I really focus my attention on. But they're doing some of that, so there's a little bit of time being spent here, and a lot of time spent here, and sort of weak on the social side. And the reason I say that is many companies just haven't figured out how to scale it, and it's not their fault. It takes a lot of effort. It takes enormous amount of time, and sometimes you think that the time you're spending in it would not offset from an ROI perspective. You don't have the time, you don't have the team, you don't have the tools, the technology, the track record. So long story short, you're just like, I just don't know how to scale that. So we do a little bit of it, and sometimes it might be like this little, right? And there may be more SEO or whatever it might be, content creation. And the reason is they just don't believe in building a brand. And that's the thing I want you to talk about. I want you to understand is that the social side will really help you develop a great brand in the long run. And that means that whenever you have content here, you can post it here. When you have amazing content you've created for your on-site, you can post it here. And in fact, you can actually create content that is specifically for social. It doesn't have to be here, it doesn't have to be there. It's just stuff that you're going to create because you may be doing that in-house. It could be behind the scenes. It could be a video, educational video like the one that we're doing right here, right now. And that's actually made for social media. This isn't made for the site. This isn't part of an SEO strategy. This is definitely not part of a digital PR strategy. This is purely social. So how would I integrate it? That was the original question. It is figuring out what your expectation is from your SEO. How many leads do you expect to generate, right? How much sales, how much content, how much resources do you want to invest into that? And what about authority? And again, this is really, from a PR perspective, this is really an authority question. Do you want to be the authoritative figure in your space? Do you really want to be the thought leader, or do you just care about getting, some request to quote from your website, give some estimates and get some jobs and call it a day? But if you really truly want to be the leader, and many people can if they want to, if they put their heart and mind into it, invest a lot of time creating quality content and being out there and pitching, right? You would be able to become the authority. And when you can become the authority, by the way, you can charge premium, and people just know you and they want to work with you because they see you all the time. So I like this because that would be a huge part, but you got to invest a lot of time outreaching and doing things, creating content, going to conferences, speaking, whatever it might be. And then similarly, you have to work on building a brand. This is the part that's really, really important. And a lot of B2B companies just haven't figured out, how do I build my brand on social? And it was easy maybe back in the day. You can put the biggest ad in the back of a directory, and you can pay for things like a header in an email newsletter and build a brand, but those days are gone. Today, your TV is replaced with YouTube, and Facebook is replaced with Instagram. I mean, everything is being shifted, and that means that your efforts have to be shifted in building a brand. And so this part is very crucial. And if you're weak at it, look at the areas that you're weak in. Many people still can't figure out how to get good quality content and build up that authority of your website, as well as the authority of the person that's behind the brand. This is just fairly straightforward. If not, I've created hundreds of videos about SEO and how you can get there. There's a lot of resources, but not a lot of resources spent on these areas. Yet that's where a lot of time should be invested in, because that's how you become holistically a great company, have a great marketing strategy. So I hope this kind of explained what I would do if I were in your shoes. And secondly, again, I mentioned this several times, paid is not part of this equation, and it certainly should be in a quality marketing mix. You have to have lots of elements of paid media, 30, 40, 50% in some cases, depending on how competitive your space is and also how well you're known. And most importantly, how much leads that you can generate and how much traffic you can acquire from it, from people that are looking for the stuff that you offer. So definitely needs to be an element of it, but I was trying to make sense of the organic aspect of PR, content creation, building a brand on social, specifically investing time and money in social media, building, again, a social following, only to sell them years down the line. It's never to sell them overnight. It's to sell them years down the line. Building a brand is not an overnight thing. Coca-Cola is still working on that. And I don't know if you know, their customers are in 200 different countries, and they're still putting billboard ads and TV ads and buying, the football game ads, everything they can buy, Super Bowl, you name it. And SEO, critical component. There shouldn't be anybody that's not investing into their website if you plan on growing. Google releases algorithm updates literally every single day, and there's a major one almost every month now. So think about it. That cannot be overlooked. This cannot be overlooked if you want to be a top dog in your space. And this actually helps you from an SEO perspective. And this is probably the most important. So if I go back to oversimplifying it, this is an oversimplified version of it. And if you could do this, fantastic. I'll be very happy for you, and tell me how you've done it. Tag me on Instagram. But long story short, many people don't have it exactly like this. Maybe my first model is a little bit more realistic, and my last one is probably the best example of a lot of companies. This could be, again, a huge aspect of growth. This could really, truly get customers. People don't understand that. And building a brand, there's not a company who hasn't figured that out. You look at every big B2C company, they're still working on building a brand. And that's why they have the customers, and that's why they're able to charge a premium. It's not because they may or may not be able to rank for a particular term, short term on Google. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.